Hey, this is Dani. The channel's You and Me Living Free. I am in Montana. I'm at Flathead Lake, the Big Arm State Park section, because it's a big lake, so there are many different sections and parts to it. I came here to do a hike, but it is gorgeous. Let me let you know what I'm looking at here behind me. Look at that. This is, by volume, I think like the 16th biggest lake in the country, and I can't wait to explore. And even the drive here was beyond gorgeous, so I'm sure the hike is going to be incredible. I can't wait. So it's just at the pay station. It's self-pay. They don't have anyone at the booth. They also don't have any envelopes, so no envelopes. Dani Winders from Kansas, September 3rd, that's today. Day use pass, $8. I'm putting cash in a paper. I'm gonna fold it all up kind of like an envelope, maybe, my little version of one, and put it in because, you know, it's important to pay those fees. I'm benefiting from all this beauty, and I wanna make sure that I help support it any way I can. Well, if you're young, you probably never did this, but when I was a kid, we would actually write notes to each other in class and then pass them to each other in class or in the hallways and stuff. And I used to have all these fun ways to fold notes so that you could tuck them in on themselves. And I'm sitting here, I can't remember a single one of those little techniques. Oh well, it doesn't really matter. Anyway, it just came to mind. If you're too young, then you have always been texting your friends. But if you're old as me, then you had to have other ways. I think in Montana, I have noticed more than any other place that I have been that people aren't always as respectful of the leash laws here, at least in my limited experience. I'm just saying, on a ton of the trails I go on, I'm dealing with dogs who are kind of on the loose. And more thoughts on that later. Anyways, we're getting started on our hike here, especially through the first part of it. There were just so many places where you could just walk right to the water, just like this. It's only a few feet off the trail. It's a gorgeous lake. There are actually islands out in the middle of the lake too, so there's tons of visual interest. This lake is so big it almost seems like the ocean, like with the waves coming up on the side. This wasn't a super windy day, but another day I was there, it was very windy. So these are just the gorgeous views that were commonplace as the first third or so of this walk kind of unfolded itself. Also thought it was interesting that the first part of the trail actually took me down the road where people were actually doing their camping. All right, the first third or so of the hike was right along the water. A little different than I expected because it was also along the campsites. So it's kind of strange, but okay, because not all the campsites are filled yet, and so you could walk down to the water at any point. It was kind of nice, but not what I expected. But hey, if this travel thing has taught me one thing, or if life teaches us one thing, right, it's like we can't always go by what's expected. So turn away from the water and all the people. Feels good to be on my own a little bit. This is also the steepest incline of the hike, so I'm kind of prepared for that. I've got my water, I got my spray and everything. I got my bear spray handy because I'm just, you know, I'm walking away from all the people and everything, and it is bear country, as they remind you constantly, which is good because you get desensitized to it. I think after this I'm going to do a video on bear safety and how I need to, and I'm in the process of really stepping up my game in that regard. Okay, so that's it. Let's do this. Also, I just wanted to say on the dog thing with no leash, here's the deal with that. Like 10 or 12 years ago, I know it's hard to imagine, but I was overweight and stuff after my divorce. Of course, I've gone through periods of up and down and up and down. If you have seen my video, Food Became My Everything, then you know my story. If you haven't, maybe I'll put a link in the description or try to do it at the end. But I was pretty heavy at the time of my divorce, and it stayed on, and so I decided to lose weight that time. Instead of dieting with food or anything, I would train for a half marathon. I had never been a runner. I've never been a runner, and I wasn't up to that point, but I researched some articles in Runner's World or whatever, and I set up a training program. I set up a 3-month calendar. I put those calendars, oversized calendars, on my front door. And every day they had what you're supposed to do. They had do 3 miles slow. They had do a cross training exercise, do stretching like yoga or bicycling. They had, and then you're building up. So they slowly built you up. It was a 3-month program. At the beginning of the 3-month program, I couldn't even jog a 5K. At the end, I could jog 13.1 miles, right? So I did 2 half marathons. What was my point? Why did I bring that up? I know I had a point. Let me think. I was talking about the dogs. Okay, long story to tell you. I was doing a run. I was in my early part of my running. I hadn't had many experiences with dogs. I didn't grow up with dogs or anything. And I had one when I was married, but anyway, I had limited experience with dog, but through my training, through my research to become a runner, or at least go through the motions, it said something about, you know, if there's a dog that you don't know, just avoid them, basically. You know, you don't want to go up to dogs you don't know, especially when you're running or whatever. I'm like, fine. So I just kind of had that in my head. I'm out on a run. I was jogging really slow down the street, neighborhood, residential, and this dog comes up. Well, I didn't have any fear in my heart or anything. I just kind of gradually moved to the other side of the road. I could see that this dog was either off leash, or she had one of those super stretchy leads that let the dog go a long, long way. And so I was simply moving to the other side of the road. I didn't think anything of it, really. The owner, addresses me and said, "Oh, she's a friendly dog. Like, you know, don't be afraid. Don't move to the other side." But I just kept on my business. I was in my zone. I was, you know, talking to myself in my own head. And the dog reached up and bit me in my butt. And she felt terrible, but, you know, not controlling her dog, having it be where it could reach up and do anything to some other person. And she was assuring me the dog had all its shots, that it was, you know, well cared for and everything. And since then, I have just had this little fear of dogs I don't know, especially bigger ones. But since then, I started dog sitting and stuff, and I do love dogs. But still, dogs I don't know, I'm a little leery. And it has never been a thing. Like, I have never done any tapping on it. I've never felt like it was a big anxiety. But recently, especially out hiking, there are more and more dogs off leash, and big dogs. And so I've noticed that it's more of a fear, especially when they're behind me, when they kind of sneak up on me and I don't know they're there. Now, I know a dog can smell your fear. I know a dog can tell when you're afraid. And so I do some breathing and stuff. I think what I'm realizing from literally today, when I got out of my van to do this hike, and there were 2 big dogs, both off leash, not big, but one was a lab and the other was like the husky kind of mix. So medium to big dogs. And they were playing with each other, and then the husky would growl at the other one, and it really sent my anxiety higher than it's ever been as far as just that goes. And then I was going down this trail, the trail by the water, as I said, goes by the campsites. There was a huge German Shepherd, must have been a German Shepherd mixed with something else, because it was much bigger than a regular German Shepherd, but it had all those colorings. And it jerked its chain and started really barking aggressively. Thank God it was on a leash, because I already had a little bit of the fear going, you know. Anyway, all of this to say, I think I'm going to have to do a little better job. I think I'm going to have to maybe do a little tapping to release my anxiety over this. It still doesn't mean I'm going to put myself in dangerous situations, but it means that, hey, life happens. This is going to come up. It's coming up more and more. So I need to do what I can on my side of the fence to prepare myself and to make myself, you know, feel safe. But anyway, first I'm going to do some tapping. I'm going to release some of this anxiety, and I don't know. Now I'm just going to try to enjoy this hike now that I've got you all sidetracked with one of my stories. But here goes. We're moving a little away from the water. I'm hoping it's going to take us up to a hill where maybe we can have an overlook and see the lake at from an even better perspective. So fingers crossed. I'll let you know. Whew. Steep little windy trail. Stop to catch my breath. I'm just going to sit here and pant while I show you this view. It's getting better with every step I take. Woo woo. Well, here's after the first big incline, the nice view. Now I've got some more to go, and then there's another second big incline, so we'll see about the view from there, if I make it. Ha! I'm gonna make it. There's bears. Go away. Come again. Another day. I just start chanting things when I'm out so I can make some noise, so the bears know I'm here. So there's a few different things I do when I chant. I'll do a little sing-song like bears, bears, go away. Or I do affirmations or like a mantra. Like if it's really tough on the uphills, usually I'll be like, every step makes me stronger. Every step makes me stronger. Those kind of positive things that I want to say. The other thing I say is little prayers that I know. And the one that comes up most often is just the serenity prayer, because it's just so good, like for life, right? So I just go through little things when I'm trying to make some noise, because I know that, you know, the bears don't want to eat people. They don't want to attack people. If they know you're here and they're not surprised and they're not protecting their cubs and things like that, you're going to be just fine. Trying to find some good sun kind of angle where you can see me. Okay. So I need to try to do my part to keep them safe and me safe. So anyway, what's really a little embarrassing though, especially if you're doing your mantra stuff or something, and then you meet someone else on the trail that you didn't know was there, like they come up behind you or something. I've had some funny interactions that way too. If they seem friendly or something, I'll be like, I'm just keeping away the bears. And if not, I just kind of be quiet and let them pass. But anyway, that's kind of funny. But there's no one up on this trail right now. Everybody's down by the water. So yeah, so I talk the whole time. So what? So it's not that hard for me, as you can tell, huh? Okay, a couple things. I stopped for some water. There's a little break where the path goes one way or the other. And I was having a hard time telling on my map, because in case you haven't figured it out by now, I'm kind of incompetent when it comes to directions and stuff. But I do my best. Anyway, I have my the one way you go looked like it went right and then turned around sharp left. This just kind of goes up and then it's going sharp left right now. And I thought, well, maybe that's the trail. And then it started going downhill, and I was like, no, it's not time for me to go back to the water yet, downhill. It's time for me to get ready for another big incline. So those are like those moments where, okay, when I started this hike, I decided I was gonna do the whole thing. So I want to keep my word for myself. So I'm going to go back the other way and not cut myself short. But here's the other thing. But also, you know what eats a phone battery quicker than anything is doing video plus doing your navigation on your all trails at the same time. So I got my little handy dandy little charger thing, and I've got my phone plugged in. I can put it all in my pocket or put the charger in the backpack or whatever. And anyway, so I got my water, got my phone charging, ready to tackle the second incline of this hike, and see you in a few. Seriously, y'all, this kind of stuff just bugs the crap out of me. So there's two trails. This one looks like it's a little more of like a main trail, but this one, it looks like, I think, is where All Trails is telling me to go. Seriously, stuff like this just bugs the crap out of me. So what I do in this situation, luckily I have cell service, so I'll go a little way down this way, And then I'll check my all trails for my little blue dot and make sure I'm going the right way. So thank goodness for cell service and for all trails. Again, not sponsored in any way. The app saves my butt so many times because I think experienced hikers, number one, just have more experience with this and maybe a better sense of direction, or maybe they don't care about getting lost, or like this whole trail system isn't that big. Doesn't matter if I take a wrong turn or something. But like for someone like me, this is already a mildly challenging hike, and I can't really afford to go getting lost or go down some trail that's not to my benefit, that's not getting me where I need to go. And going out of my way a mile or two is a big deal for me. Whereas if someone is more comfortable doing longer mileage, it's not a big deal for them. I think this is the right way. I'm going to check my map and come back. Yep, I'm on the right trail. It was the little less worn path, but I'm on the right trail going higher. It's beautiful up here, but I don't think it's any more beautiful than what it was when I was down at the lake or at the first incline. But hey, that's all right. We're not always doing it for the view at the top. Do it because every step makes me stronger. I heard that somewhere before. And also just to keep my word to myself, right? And I almost look at the cameras and you out there as my accountability partners, because it can be a struggle to keep your word to yourself. It can be hard when things get hard, whether that's about anything. So whether it's a hike or anything you're doing in life. So thank you for being my accountability partner. I appreciate it. You make me better. Woo, that means a lot. And I've been so touched by so many of the comments of people on YouTube, especially my subscribers and like the people that comment repeatedly on different videos and stuff, sharing parts of their story, sharing encouragement and positivity, and I just love it. Feeds my soul. Thank you. Love you. Let's keep on keeping on. All right. So once again, I didn't record much footage on the way down, but here's me back at the bottom near the trailhead and out on this dock. I didn't want to walk out too far. I was afraid I would lose my balance and fall over. I'm not that coordinated. But it is a gorgeous lake if you ever get the chance. Flathead Lake in Montana. It's in between Missoula and Glacier National Park. Thank you so much for watching another video. I truly appreciate you, and I'll catch you next time.